Magandang gabi mga ka-game changer. Tonight we are diving deep into the lives of our modern day heroes, ang ating mga OFWs. In a world that is constantly shifting, sino nga ba ang nagbabantay sa kapakanan ng mga Pilipino sa labas ng bansa? Our guest today is a seasoned lawyer and a true trailblazer. Mula sa pag-negotiate ng bilateral labor agreements hanggang sa pamumuno ngayon sa OWA, she is here to change the game for every Filipino worker abroad. Please welcome the Administrator of the Overseas Workers Welfare Administration, Attorney P.Y. Kaunan. Attorney P.Y., thank you so much for joining us. Good evening.
Magandang gabi, good evening. It's really an honor to be here.
Okay, yes, and I'm so glad I get to talk to you. Welcome to the show. You've transitioned from being a DMW Undersecretary to the top post at OWA. How has the first year been? You've been very busy, and I know you've been doing a lot of shifting things around.
It's been almost a year. In fact, I remember last year it was really totally different around this time. We were in the process again of negotiating another bilateral labor agreement. But this time around, we're facing a crisis.
Yes.
Marami tayong mga kababayan who have returned and are scheduled to be back. Almost every week, we're averaging 1,000.
Wow.
So, I think the answer to that question is busy but very fulfilling ang feeling.
Yes, and of course, when you see you're helping people, you're giving them hope by coming home, they feel safe. Iba talaga ang feeling na yun, no?
Iba, every day may bagong kwentong OFW na, may bagong kwento ng pag-aalaga, pagtulong. So, I think kahit pagod or puyat, sulit na sulit. Yes,
okay.
It's worth it.
And you were described by Secretary Hans Kakdak as a trailblazer. How are you applying that to the game changer mindset to OWA's traditional system?
Sec Hans is like a kuya. You know? He was the administrator of OWA before. We were together in the department. I guess it's really just adapting to the call of the times, being relevant, meaning making the programs of OWA relevant to the needs of our OFWs. Trailblazing, medyo nakakakaba kasi ang taas ng expectation. But I guess I just feel that when it comes to public service, there is no limit in what you can do for the people, for the OFWs. I think that's what I'm doing right now.
Okay, coming from a legal background, what are some of the main challenges? You know, of course, when you took the position, what were the main challenges that faced you kaagad?
First things first, when I came in, OWA only had 400 plantilla positions.
Okay.
And we have been, OWA has been existing since 1982. Yung role ng OWA before, as compared to now, 44 years after, ano siya, parang feeling ko nagbago. Pero walang nadagdag masyado doon sa plantilla positions.
Yun pa rin as is where
Yun
is.
pa rin. So can you imagine, pag may problema, OWA yung ina-expect nilang tumawag. OWA yung ina-expect nila na pumunta sa kanila abroad. So first things first, I think, marirecall na nanonood sa atin ngayon. May pa lang, I went na and met with DBM Secretary then, Secretary Amina, to talk about adding plantilla positions to OWA. Pangalawa, yung kakulangan din sa budget noong time na yon. Ang OWA, we have repatriation programs, pero meron din kami reintegration programs. Yun yung mas mahirap.
Yun ang mas mahirap at saka mas importante actually because once they get here, what's their life gonna be after?
And the planning should not start pagbalik nila. It should start habang, in fact, before they leave. So, we had to also make sure we structure the budget better to fit the needs of our OFWs. Pangatlo, yung mga programa ng OWA. Medyo matagal na rin, 4 na dekada na rin, and we had to, even the amounts, no? Minsan nakakakita ako ng comments sa social media, medyo mababa na yung binibigay yung amount, and I agree, 100%.
Kasi kung baga hindi na siya akma to the times now.
Yeah, and we need to go through the right process to change these things.
Yes, we can't just do it, on a decision, right?
Exactly. So we have a board in OWA, a board of trustees. It's multi-sectoral, and so we we went through all of this. Ito yung mga bagay na sinasabi ko nga, trabaho ng administrator, pero hindi mo pwedeng i-post sa social media yung mga ganitong bagay. But mararamdaman yung epekto ng mga ganitong pagbabago.
Yes, and President Marcos Jr. has been very vocal about digitalizing the government. Is OWA also transitioning into this?
Sa tingin ko, advanced yung OWA.
Okay.
OWA has been doing this. In fact, people don't know that OWA has this case management system. So all of our members, we have their records, but at the same time, if you call OWA or a family member would call OWA for assistance, lahat ng tulong na nabigay ng OWA as well as the complaints, kung ano mang kondisyon niya, they're all recorded and we can access that all the time, 24/7. And this is accessed by all our personnel on the ground.
So very efficient.
Very efficient. But this is internal. And then now, we just recently signed with some of our digital finance partners. We want the OWA membership to be more accessible. Hirap na hirap sila mag-renew. So now we're adopting the online membership renewal plus digital payment also.
So they can just do everything online pretty much.
Basically, they can online renew for less than 5 minutes. And that's it.
Wow, that's amazing.
That's it, yeah.
Okay, so I guess that the OWA Trust Fund recently grew to over 21 billion pesos, attorney. So of course, para bang this is amazing. So, and wala ka pang 1 year, no? So siguro ngayon and the good thing is you're very young. So where do you see yourself steering OWA from this point on?
Last year, we reached the highest in our history.
Wow.
Of 21
in 44 years.
44 years, 21.3 billion because we launched a stronger membership drive, you know. Hindi alam ng lahat na hindi lahat ng OFWs matik na miyembro ng OWA. They have to renew their membership. So we strengthened our e-card. Meron government ID ang OWA. We went through Servicio Caravans. We launched our e-cards, but an important comment, nabash pa nga ako yata nung una, was I wanted it to be like the Pag-ibig card, which has discounts for our OFWs. But the difference is that they have discounts all over the world from our from our partner
countries,
businesses. So over 300. In fact, like a famous sports shoe company, we have up to 50% discount.
Oh, that's nice.
And then a famous coffee chain all over the world, we have a discount in Saudi Arabia in all their 700 stores. Of course, Filipino businesses, airlines, hotels,
so makakatulong
schools.
yan with quality of life and ease of doing things also pang-araw-araw, syempre.
Siguro, bilang administrator, I'll say this, for a membership fee of 50 pesos per month.
Wow, 50 pesos.
Yes.
That's not even $1, guys.
No,
okay?
no. It's been $25 for 2 years since the very beginning. So, gusto ko lang, hindi lang sulit, but talagang more than yung sulit na feeling ang pakaramdam ng mga miyembro ng OWA. So we pushed this, and from around 75,000 when I came in as OWA administrator na issuances ng OWA e-card, now we're already, I think, at 600,000.
That's amazing. So, wow, a lot in 1 year, huh? So, attorney, what specific mandate was given to you by President Marcos Jr. when he appointed you to this role?
Same mandate given to Sec Tuts Oples, same mandate given to Sec Hans. So make sure that when we take care of our OFWs, we take care of their families and children. Malapit sa puso ko yung anak ng OFW. Ang pamilya namin, no? I have a sister now who's in Hawaii, also an OFW. Cousins, titos, my dad also used to work in Saudi Arabia. Malaki ang epekto sa anak na naiwan.
Right.
And so OWA would provide scholarship assistance, we even have what we call family circles and children circles. These are support groups all over the Philippines. We have this in every LGU. Sinisigurado natin na hindi lamang pa-event, programa talaga yung binibigay natin to be able to help yung mga naiwan na pamilya dito of our OFWs.
So it becomes sustainable. So they have yung para bang friends who have parents who are, so para bang it's easier to relate.
We hope so. That's the vision.
I'm sure because I mean they can, you know, their situations are similar. So at least,
Yes.
you know, maganda that they're together, di ba? Just like we have groups for cancer, we have groups for other sicknesses na para bang it helps people cope.
Yes, and one of the things that we do in OWA, no? Kasi welfare, it's such a big word, no?
Yes,
Very
and it
wide
encompasses
scope.
so much.
So much. We have launched the OWA Cup. Bago tong kaguluhan na to. It promotes, of course, sports with a purpose, right? Health and wellness. Iba kasi ang feeling abroad, mag-isa ka eh.
Yes.
And then every Saturday or Sunday, you have a community na parang may paliga ng OFW. Then we're doing it also here in the Philippines with OWA Cup Junior para sa mga anak ng
I
OFWs.
see. So they're sort of interconnected. So
Yes.
pagka nag-uusap sila, they have something similar.
Yes.
Okay. And when they come back home, when the parents come back home, parang there's no time lost. I think that's an important thing, di ba?
Yes, yes. And also, even the parents right now, sila rin, nafe-feel ko yung lungkot. Pag pumupunta ka doon, no? And so it's important to also have those kinds of engagement. Marami rin lang kaming, kumbaga, pinos muna na activities because of the Middle East crisis, no? But the rest of the world, we still continue with community engagement in Hong Kong, in Kuala Lumpur, in Taipei, Singapore. And also, of course, in Europe, where we have a lot of OFWs
yes.
as well.
Okay, Attorney PY, you did mention, of course, we're going to take a break no, in a little while, but I'm going to leave this as a hanging question because it's very important. And I think this is the significance of where you come in because we've seen a rise in global conflicts lately. Nagkataon, di ba, this was on your clock, which is really a big challenge. How has your experience in international policy help OWA respond faster to emergency repatriations? Because I know marami sila and it's not just one step. It's step 1 to 50 already, di ba, na kailangan mong isipin. And I'm sure even when you're on step 1, you have to think about all of the other steps that come after that because you also don't know how much longer it will take, di ba?
Exactly. And I think what people see sometimes is like, our OFWs arriving.
Right.
But there are a lot of things happening and that happened. And a lot of people we need to
Yes.
talk about.
So mamaya sa pagbabalik ng ating programang Game Changer, we will delve deeper into this topic with Attorney PY Kaunan. So don't go away. The Game Changer will be right back after these messages.
2025 was a meaningful year for Bingo Plus Foundation. As our purpose grew, it was time for a new chapter. Introducing DigiPlus Foundation.
Education is the bridge to opportunities. Through the Future Smart program, we empower learners and educators nationwide. At DigiPlus Foundation, we multiply learning for a better future.
Healthcare should come with no barriers. Kalusugan Plus delivers medical missions and Embrace Plus mental health support which empower every Filipino through compassionate and accessible healthcare. At DigiPlus Foundation, we multiply healing. One patient, one community at a time.
Every dream deserves a chance. In Wish Plus, we grant wishes, empowering individuals, families, and communities together with their partners. At DigiPlus Foundation, we multiply hope, dignity, and possibilities.
Disasters don't wait. Through the Bayanihan Plus program, we mobilize immediate response and recovery efforts. At DigiPlus Foundation, we multiply the spirit of Bayanihan across the nation.
DigiPlus Foundation is committed to delivering on our promise to bring help within everyone's reach. When support becomes accessible, impact doesn't just grow, it multiplies.
Madali pa ba mag-cash in sa Bingo Plus?
Sa Bingo Plus, official partner na namin ng Bayad Center. Easy!
License ba yun ng Pagcor?
Sa Bingo Plus, kaya responsible gaming lagi.
Ang fun!
Gaming? Na may insurance?
Sa Bingo Plus, sa PhilFirst, insured ang wallet mo ng 1 million pesos.
Safe nga! Talaga namang...
Sa Bingo Plus, partnered with Bayad Center, licensed by Pagcor, protected by PhilFirst. Sa Bingo Plus.
The best players succeed because they set boundaries. Every great athlete wins with control. Always have a game plan.
Nagbabalik ang ating programang The Game Changer, and still with Attorney P.Y. Kaunan. We started talking about our actual OFWs, and I guess it's safe to say na ang pinakamarami is really in the Middle East. No, Attorney
Yes,
P.Y.
we have 2.4 million overseas Filipinos. Siguro I would say more than half are really OFWs, documented and undocumented OFWs.
And how is the climate, because syempre itong conflict na ito, it really compromises peace of mind, no? Of course, our OFWs abroad and also their families here. So paano natin natatayin ito?
This started Feb 28, right?
Of this year.
Year. Mid-March, I went to Saudi Arabia talaga. This is because we had to really coordinate the first flight siguro sa history ng Philippines, repatriation flight, na yung mga sasakay, itinawid natin by land from 3 different countries. Actually 4.
I see. From
Bahrain to Saudi Arabia, Qatar to Saudi Arabia, Kuwait to Saudi Arabia, and also parts of Saudi Arabia to Riyadh.
Right. So all of the OFWs are coming in from Riyadh. Kumbaga,
from outside to
Riyadh, from Riyadh to the Philippines.
To the
ang
Philippines.
hirap nitong coordination na
This
ito.
was the first time we had to go. I mentioned this because when I went there, I had a chance to really talk to them and to see them land in Riyadh from their buses, traveling for more than 10 hours, yung ordeal na yun. I can see na medyo may shock sila at sinasabi nila sa akin, admin, hindi na tumutunog yung cellphone namin. Which means they had trauma noon kasi yung notifications pag may bomba, so non-stop yung telepono mo, and they would tell me hindi sila makatulog because non-stop siyang tutunog, and even if your phone is on silent, it will still sound off, no?
Yes, because
so I saw it when I went there in Saudi Arabia, that they were just looking at their phones. Sabi niya, we're safe. Malapit na tayong makauwi sa Maynila. And when they arrive in Manila, iyakap nila ako. Nandoon si Presidente, nandoon si Sec Hans, and mararamdaman mo sa kanila the relief. They were crying.
They're really traumatized. It was really
traumatized because they would tell me na nabomba yung katabi nila, nabomba malapit lang sa kanila. Some of them, especially the OFWs from Bahrain, they were living or working inside the bases. So, meron talagang kwento ng trauma, meron silang na-experience. And I even saw the kids, yung mga anak ng mga OFWs. And the mothers were telling me, pag merong tunog sa cellphone, automatic na sa bata magtago sa ilalim ng kama. These are the things that we're...
So kung alimbawa, tutunog yan ng 24 times ka talaga So it was really agonizing, I mean, to see the news.
Yes, for our OFWs, because maybe for OFWs in Saudi, in UAE, in Qatar, in Bahrain and Kuwait, hindi naman ito nila na-experience before. Iba to dun sa ating mga OFWs, for example, in Israel.
Right.
They have bomb shelters, they have a system.
Because
talagang
they're ready for
they're ready, they're fully prepared.
Because it's been happening.
Yes, yes. But But in those countries I mentioned, it was the first time. So most of them, hindi na nakapag-adjust and they requested for repatriation.
And usually, di ba, ang alam ko, OFWs, napapansin ko, even friends that I have growing up, maximum tolerance yan di ba? Unless you really have to go home, hindi naman talaga sila magre-request ng umuwi
Yes, and that I think we can see it from the numbers, no? We have the Philippine government already assisted more than 7,000 since Feb 28. But if you compare the numbers of 7,000 to the total number of OFWs, mas maliit pa yun. But that only shows our OFWs are opting to stay because of their commitment, because of not just to their employers but to their families, I think.
Okay. And Attorney P.Y., kanina off-cam when we went on break, we were talking about yung 3 phases na I find that, very important. Yung first phase na mini-mention mo is?
When it comes to repatriation, so it started Feb 28, no? Sinasabi ko, itong first wave of repatriation, yung aming unang mga tinulungan, ito yung mga supposedly uuwi na talaga ng Pilipinas o kaya naman ay initially naapektuhan talaga nung crisis, talagang they're deciding to go back, no? So ito yung first wave, yung mga parang na-stranded or kaya kasi wala talagang lumilipad na eroplano noon, right? But then there's the second wave. And the second wave is that when there are airplanes, like right now, a lot of commercial flights.
Yes.
But the OFWs in certain industries their employment are affected.
Like you did mention, hospitality industry is the one most affected.
One because yung tourism talaga is affected. A lot of our workers are workers of resorts, hotels, restaurants in UAE and the rest of the Middle East. A lot of them are telling us yung iba ay na-lay off, yung iba naman ay ino-offera ng part-time na trabaho, which honestly is not enough.
Right. And then, so we are in this phase, in this wave right now, the second wave. And then the third wave is yun ang all out. We don't want, that's the area we don't even want to get to.
We don't want to. And this is when we always say, yung forced evacuation dahil full-blown na yung digmaan. And we're really, as I said, hindi lang Pilipino ang mag-apektuhan niya, lahat talaga, buong mundo. So now we're here in this wave we're in. There is economic displacement. But yung pagmomonitor ng Department of Migrant Workers at kami sa OWA, we're seeing some that are affected, hindi pa naman lahat.
Okay.
Na ganun. Pero nakakakita na kami at marami na rin humingi ng tulong.
Yes, and sana hindi na umabot doon. Sana umayos na even before we get to that wave, di ba? Sana that wave never happens. Okay, Attorney P.Y., let's talk about yung para bang yung social missions, no? Because I know that the government has been doing so much for our OFWs, lalong-lalo na let's talk about our First Lady Lisa Araneta Marcos, who has been very active. Can you tell us about her role in the medical missions of the OFWs, because she's been very active with the Lab for All?
She has her Lab for All, and us in OWA together, of course, with the health-related departments and agencies, we join and we support this because talagang ang daming natutulungan. And the First Lady has always been very supportive of OFWs. Yan ang direktiba ni Presidente, and the First Lady is I would say, when there are presidential visits or even her own visit abroad, there's always an engagement with the OFW community. Marami ding tulong na nabibigay sa mga cancer patients, mga OFWs. And also when it comes to we call them the awards or the distress workers that we house in our shelters abroad, tinutulungan natin. So the First Lady has been very helpful. Of course, sila ni Presidente talaga tumutulong sa ating mga kababayan. So we're inspired. Actually, na-inspire kami dun sa Lab for All, and that's
Yeah,
why
malaking I find that very noble, to be honest.
That's why we try to do the same for the OFWs and Servicio Caravans that we're doing, and we bring in also different agencies for the Alagang OWA Servicio Caravan, at binibigay namin yung mga serbisyo abroad.
Okay.
Can you imagine one of the things that I will say this no na was recommended by the First Lady to us, and with the full support of the LTO, our OFWs get to renew their license during the Servicio Caravan abroad for the first time.
So,
they get their driver's license ID.
So hindi na sila nahihirapan.
Ang sinasabi ko nga, para saan ba yung Servicio Caravan? Para pag-uwi nila sa Pilipinas, hindi na sila pipila.
Yes. Mahirap ang haba ng pila.
And hindi sayang because they usually have just a week or two for vacation.
So they can use that, spending it with their family.
Yes.
Okay, and you recently increased scholarship slots by 10,000. And I know that this is your this is your own personal parang it's close to your heart.
It's very close to my heart. Education, I think it gives all of us a chance to reach our dreams. OWA usually increases its scholarship slots, maybe 500 or 1,000 a year. Because of the record-breaking income we had last year, we said, let's increase it to 10,000. So almost double now because we have existing 15,000 scholars.
Okay.
So plus 10,000.
25,000.
Hopefully. And then we get to follow it up with more increases in the future.
Yes. Congrats, Attorney Pibay. I agree that, and I believe that health and education go together, because you can't really pick one or the other. Because if you're not a healthy population, you cannot also belt out yung para bang healthy students, diba? So we have to start with healthy students and then educate them.
Yes, if I may also mention, when the President said last year, during SONA, ni-launch yung Yakap and Gamot. This is the Butika and the Care Clinic, no, na libre, that us being PhilHealth members, we have up to 20,000 in benefit. We partnered with PhilHealth and private partner VidaCure. We have our own Alagang OWA Yakap and Gamot Butika in our offices and clinic, so that they go there, they have their checkups done there, and then also we have laboratory mobile clinic also donated by the First Lady to us, by the Lab for All partners of the First Lady, and then they can have the exam there, and then kung may kulang pa and they're an OWA member, we give medical assistance. So we really focus, as
so
you
it's
said,
a one-stop shop talaga siya.
Yes,
Parang
they
ganon.
don't need to go to a clinic.
Okay.
They just go to OWA central office and that's it.
Yes, the benefits of being an overseas
Yes.
worker. Okay, let's talk about upskilling. With AI and automation, how is OWA preparing OFWs for the jobs of the future? Because whether we like it or not, we have to evolve, di ba? Lalo na with things nangyayari dito, hindi rin naman pwedeng maghinto ang buhay.
We have a new program in OWA called Alagang OWA Step Up Program. No? Why is it important? Because kailangan talaga tayo lagi nag-upskill. Hindi lang OFW, no? May mga kailangan. So first, very close to our hearts ni Sec Hans is the upskilling of domestic workers. We think that with upskilling to caregivers or iba pang mga skill set, they can have better jobs.
Okay.
Better income. As domestic workers, the average salary is between $400 to $500 US.
Okay.
If you become a caregiver, matik na yan ang increase mo, and the market, no, you can even apply in Europe, in other markets. Your salary can go up to like 1,500 to 2,000
a month, yeah.
plus US dollars in salary, no. Ang laking epekto nun sa pamilya.
Siyempre, oo.
So OWA,
quality of life.
Exactly. So OWA wants to invest in your upskilling. Because by doing that, you'll have a better chance to have a higher income for your family,
Yes.
matigil yung cycle. I just want to share, William, really, that why I'm invested in this. Before I became USEC, my practice really was labor, focus on OFWs. I had an immersion in Mindanao, and I met a family wherein I asked the kid of the OFW, the daughter, what she wants to be. And she said a domestic worker in Saudi Arabia, like her mother and like her Lola.
So it spans generations. Yes.
And there's nothing wrong about being a domestic worker.
Right.
But maybe the kid, pag na-open up nating opportunities, can be a nurse, can be an engineer.
Still an overseas worker, pero iba na yung layunin.
So OWA wants to help in that, making sure we'll be able to give as much chance to the children of the OFW as we can.
Okay, and improve their lives one generation at a time. Okay, so thank you very much. Marami pa tayong pag-uusapan sa pagbabalik ng aking programang The Game Changer. Don't go away.
Thank you.
2025 was a meaningful year for Bingo Plus Foundation. As our purpose grew, it was time for a new chapter. Introducing DigiPlus Foundation.
Education is the bridge to opportunities. Through the Future Smart program, we empower learners and educators nationwide. At DigiPlus Foundation, we multiply learning for a better future.
Healthcare should come with no barriers. Kalusugan Plus delivers medical missions and Embrace Plus mental health support which empower every Filipino through compassionate and accessible healthcare. At DigiPlus Foundation, we multiply healing. One patient, one community at a time.
Every dream deserves a chance. In Wish Plus, we grant wishes, empowering individuals, families, and communities together with their partners. At DigiPlus Foundation, we multiply hope, dignity, and possibilities.
Disasters don't wait. Through the Bayanihan Plus program, we mobilize immediate response and recovery efforts. At DigiPlus Foundation, we multiply the spirit of Bayanihan across the nation.
DigiPlus Foundation is committed to delivering on our promise to bring help within everyone's reach. When support becomes accessible, impact doesn't just grow, it multiplies.
Madali pa mag-cash in sa Bingo Plus?
Sa Bingo Plus, official partner na namin ng Bayad Center. Easy!
License ba yun ng Pagcor?
Sa Bingo Plus, kaya responsible gaming lagi.
Ang fun!
Gaming? Na may insurance?
Sa Bingo Plus, sa PhilFirst, insured ang wallet mo ng 1 million pesos.
Safe nga! Talaga namang...
sa Bingo Plus, partnered with Bayad Center, licensed by Pagcor, protected by PhilFirst. Sa Bingo Plus.
The best players succeed because they set boundaries. Every great athlete wins with control. Always have a game plan.
Welcome back to The Game Changer, still with my very special guest, Attorney P.Y. Kaunan of OWA. And ito naman for some good news naman. Actually, you know, amidst of everything else, I believe that there's always a silver lining in every rain cloud. So pag-usapan naman natin yung good news kasi marami naman talaga, beginning with comfort. So let's talk about OFW lounges in our airport. This was a major game changer for the comfort of our workers. And can you tell us a little bit about this?
Why not? Why not give the OFWs a business class type lounge? No? We have to walk the talk. When we call them
modern day heroes, yes.
We have to treat them right. Prior to having the lounges, the airport lounges, so we have two right now, Terminals 3 and 1. Capacity is around 150 to 250
That's quite a
per
bit.
lounge. Yeah. I'm biased, so I'm gonna say we're serving the best arroz caldo.
Talaga?
I'm biased.
Okay.
But I'm also biased to say that we have the best looking lounge, for example, in Terminal 1 and Terminal 3. But this is because we want our OFWs to feel how much we care for them.
Yes.
And some of them, not just that, but some of them are first timers when it comes to traveling.
Yes.
So they get lost, in the process, where to go. At kinakabahan sila, baka naloko sila,
Oh, marami kasi, di ba? We hear a lot of sub-stories about this,
Yes.
and then rightfully so. So we don't want them to get compromised, di ba?
So we have the first ever in the world Migrant Workers Lounge, OFW Lounge, that OWA is managing. We want to thank, of course, RSA for providing us the space and yung magandang lounge, from NNIC. And then OWA is managing it on... So we have personnel there. We provide free food, free Wi-Fi, free charging station, and a place to really stay. Because prior to this, I remember I was not in government. I'd see OFWs nakaupo sa floor. Imagine they came from the provinces and yung iba wala ng budget for food. Madedelay yung flight.
Tama. Yun ang pinakamahirap kasi ang delay, hindi naman natin masasabi 30 minutes lang or 40 minutes lang. Sometimes it takes a while, di ba? So this is what the lounges are for, para hindi nila maramdaman.
Yes. And so that the last moment before they leave, the government is there, hand-holding them. If they have questions, OWA and DMW are there. And we have also, sometimes we invite our partners also, partner agencies who are also there. So, as we speak, I think we're closing in to around 1.5 million or maybe, no, more than, around 1.8 million already na nagkagamit na ng lounges natin. Hopefully, in the future, budget permitting, we want to open as well in Cebu International Airport and in Clark.
Okay, so we have a lot of plans for them.
A lot of plans.
Okay, eto naman, we've been talking about repatriation. Eto naman ang the next part, itong reintegration. So we did touch on it kanina, but what is the reintegration game plan for this year, for 2026, based on, the circumstances that we are facing?
Well, first of all, meron namang reintegration plan talaga. Pero ito ay para sa mga planadong bumalik.
Okay, yes.
Marami yung challenging is yung wala naman siyang plano bumalik.
Tama.
And then suddenly,
kailangan na nandito sila, right?
Yeah. So first things first, OWAD, sa lahat ng mga bumalik, we do a profiling. They fill up a reintegration profile info sheet. Nalalaman namin ano yung educational attainment niya, ano yung job experience niya, ano yung gusto niyang tulong, gusto niya ba magtrabaho dito or abroad. I can even tell you kung ilan yung may gusto mag-livelihood, 38% would want livelihood assistance. A big portion, close to 21%, overseas employment still. Local employment, meron naman, may mga existing businesses. Sa mga bumalik na 7,000, less than 200 have existing businesses that would need expansion capital. So, we need to find out who are the returnees, what kind of reintegration assistance do they want? Do they want to study again? Do they want upskilling? Do they want livelihood assistance? Do they want government help for job placement?
So we will generally help them, channel them kung ano ba talaga ang gusto nila when they're back here.
Trabaho, negosyo, edukasyon, kalusugan.
Okay. Or all of the above.
Or all of the above. All at the
yeah.
same time. These are the pathways for them.
Okay.
Reintegration.
Attorney PY, how are you collaborating with the private sector to create a landing pad for returning OFWs? Because alam ko marami din naman tayong partners, di ba?
I'm a firm believer that there should be a whole of society approach. Government cannot do it alone.
And shouldn't do it alone.
Shouldn't do it alone. The private sector has been very supportive of OFWs. It's a matter, I think, on the part of OWA. And siguro dito ko nahugot yung experience ko as USEC naman for international cooperation. We need cooperation. So, sa OWA, marami na tayong partnerships. We have with banks, We have with different NGOs, different groups in the private sector, helping us roll out these reintegration programs. No? Just recently, we signed again with BDO. We have a GCash partnership. We have, of course, ibang mga bangko, Land Bank, etc., helping us. So a lot of things are moving when it comes to the private
coming
sector.
Together.
Coming together. And also with government agencies.
Yes.
In 2 days or so, we're about to sign with CHED for our partnership with a very exciting program of the President, ETIAP. ETIAP is, imagine if you're an OFW, ang course mo ay accounting.
Okay.
Pero ang trabaho mo for 20 years ay hotel manager.
Right, which is hindi akma dun sa okay.
There's a program by CHED. Of course, ito yung isa sa mga ni Presidente. You will have a chance to have a college degree for hospitality, a bachelor's degree in hospitality management for only a year or 2 years, depending sa assessment. And OWA wants to make you a scholar for that.
Because it's already what you're doing.
Yes.
So generally, it should be a breeze.
Some people are saying, merong block sa promotion nila because of the lack of the related bachelor's degrees.
Which is hindi naman dapat because
Yes.
hindi naman lahat ng pinaplano natin ay nangyayari.
Exactly.
To be honest, I see that because even no matter how organized you are, let's say you plan your day at night, sige bukas ito ang gagawin ko, so you're writing everything down. More often than not, something's gonna happen, hindi rin naman talaga yun ang masusunod, di ba?
Exactly.
So, I mean, di ba, what more of long term?
Yes, exactly. So at least we have this program to help them get the bachelor's degree they need to push their careers. And if we're supporting the education of the children of the OFWs, we should support the OFWs as well. May mga pangarap din
Tama.
na kailangan makamit. Yeah.
Okay, what is the biggest challenge in protecting OFWs in non-traditional destinations like eto, di ba? Because we're basically talking about the Middle East. But what about Eastern Europe or Central Asia? Or is it generally the same, just smaller scale?
We're not there physically.
Okay,
That's the biggest challenge.
Okay.
In the Middle East, we have our biggest offices. Like Riyadh, we have a lot of personnel. We still lack personnel, but we have the most there.
Okay.
But if you're talking about Central Asia, Eastern Europe, where we have a lot of OFWs,
Yes.
problem is we don't have personnel on the ground.
So, yun ang mahirap.
Yun ang mahirap. So, we rely on them calling our hotlines, on them providing us information through social media. But when it comes to welfare, aruga, or alaga, we need to be there.
Tama. It's just like even during the pandemic when you're going online consult, that's okay if the if the doctor already knows you because pero kung first time patient, how do you assess, 'di ba, a patient that hindi mo nakikita physically? Mahirap 'yun eh.
I think people should also know about OWA. These things when we travel. Ako mismo personally when I travel, we visit our OFWs in the hospitals na walang bumibisitang mga pamilya. We visit them in jails, detention centers. We visit them there because binibisita namin on behalf of the Philippine government and minsan dinadala pa namin mensahe ng pamilya nila.
Okay.
So these are works that should be done physically.
Yes.
Yeah. And so that's the difficulty, I think, when it comes to non-traditional areas that we are not yet present. But we hope we'll be present soon.
Yes, of course. I'm sure that's in the pipeline. Okay, and in line with that, bringing everything together, Attorney, this is also almost a personal question also. How do you handle the emotional toll of this job? Because I'm sure, sobrang yung para bang nakakapiga ito ng puso because sa dami-daming mga tao, iba-iba yung situations, iba-iba yung circumstances. I'm sure, your heart goes out to them.
It does, and it's, I guess, yung pagod physically, you'll feel it at the end of the day.
Yeah.
But in OWA, there's really this brand of service. It's Alagang OWA. It's not a slogan. It's really what people have been doing in OWA for the last 4 decades. It's serbisyong may puso. You cannot do this if it doesn't come from the heart.
That's true. You can't. It's just not effective.
Not effective. We don't count hours here of how many hours you've been working, or what's important for us is we're able to assist the worker, we're able to rescue the worker, we're able to repatriate the worker.
And reintegrate also.
Reintegrate the
And that's the only time na you can actually breathe and say na, I did my job, is pagka nakita mo na, ayun na nga, just like, having a child, pagka nag-aaral na, naglalakad na, ayun na, yun set ka na, di ba? Because you already have it there. But until they are self-sufficient, eto mo, para bang you'll still feel na, what else can I do? What else can we do?
Yes, because on the average, we have a call center in OWA. It's been there for 20 years. Every day, we get to receive around 200 calls. And these are calls from families, from OFWs asking for assistance. Each call, hindi to parang tipong 1 minute per call.
I'm sure, yes. Mahabang mga dialogue to.
And ito yung, when you asked that question earlier, how are you dealing with it emotionally? I speak not just for myself, but for all our frontliners in OWA. That's why we also want to care for the frontliners. Mabigat kasi yan eh. Sometimes you get to talk to someone na naabuso for 3 hours.
Wow.
Because gusto niya nang may kausap. Takot na siya. And
it's part of rehabilitation too.
We have training, specialized training for our frontliners for how to deal with sexual abuse, OFWs, how to deal with the children of the OFWs. And now we have a partnership also because our OWA ambassador is Pia Wurtzbach and Alden. Both are dear friends, and we're very thankful because libre to. But they have their advocacies, and for Pia, her advocacy is HIV awareness ever since the very beginning. So we have a partnership with Love Yourself, and we have quite a few OFWs who have HIV and have asked us for assistance. One I personally experienced when I went to Slovakia. Akala niya mamamatay na siya. So, hindi na siya kumakain, ayaw niya na magtrabaho, nagpaparepatriate siya.
Na yung spirit niya ay medyo nadampen na sobra.
So called OWA, mabigat sa akin yun for the first time. No? Someone na gusto niya na lang mawala. Yeah. So now, because of our partnership, and you said this earlier, how important private and public partnerships are with the private sector, we now are more equipped in dealing with certain cases, specific cases. In this case, when it comes to Love Yourself, with HIV positive OFWs and their families, our people now know how to deal with them and how to take care of them.
Yes, and that's the most important, how to take care of them, because hindi naman mawawala yung condition nila, but their attitude and how they can continue. Because sa totoo lang, they have to, we make them understand it's not a death sentence naman talaga, di ba?
Definitely. Right now, it's like diabetes, I would think.
Yes, you can manage it, tama. You can never really cure it because it's there, but you can live your whole life. Just the same. Diba? Just the same. There's just a couple of managements, like kumbaga sa sandwich, it's just a couple of palaman in between.
Exactly.
Pero like everything else, meron naman talaga nothing is ever really smooth. Okay, Attorney, what is the one legacy project that you would want to be remembered for, at least, para bang that sets you like, eto siya?
Ang hirap ng tanong.
I'm sure. Naisip ko paano nga yan sasagutin.
I guess it would be itong sa mga education namin na I would want pag mahirap yung tanong because parang kailangan ko mag-prioritize, but just to answer it, I think when pag nag-step down na ako as OWA administrator, I would want na from 15,000 scholars that I came in, maybe if we can reach 50,000, I hope we're able to make more members renew so that we'll have more income for the fund so that we can give it back to them.
Yes, and be sustainable.
So hopefully we'll have more scholars, OFWs, and children of OFWs. Yeah.
But I think, with the way you're handling things, that's definitely going to be a reality. Para bang you just have the ball rolling and then yung para bang sometimes, diba, there's no stopping it anymore. It's just the beginning ang medyo mahirap. Okay, looking ahead to the next year and beyond, what do you think are going to be other challenges that at least yung para bang people, OFWs or people wanting to be OFWs should prepare for and need to understand at least?
I think they need to prepare for. First, they have to invest in training before they leave.
Okay, that's important.
Very important. No, I've seen it in Europe. When I was leading the way when it comes to market development, when I was with DMW. There are a lot of job opportunities, for example, in Europe, but they require a certain level of training.
Yes.
And so, sometimes they require NC3. Tayo kasi may NC2. Alam natin yung NC2 sa TESDA. So if our people would invest in training, for sure there will be better opportunities for them. The biggest challenge is that how do we prepare OFWs for their planned return? Ibig sabihin, when they leave, there should always be a plan to return, which means a sustainable livelihood for them once they're back in the Philippines. I think in the next few years, what I'm seeing is that us in government, because of the National Reintegration Network that was directed by the President, will be able to give a platform for a unified approach when it comes to helping our OFWs return to the Philippines.
Okay. And lastly, Attorney PY, any final messages of your own to our OFWs, to our private partners, and anybody else that you'd want to hear?
Para sa ating mga OFW, siguro ang gusto ko lang sabihin, hindi kayo nag-iisa. Minsan mahirap yung sitwasyon, mag-isa kayo physically, pero iniisip namin kayo sa OWA, yung mga plano ninyo, and hopefully makatulong kami. Pag may problema, call 1348 lang. Nandito lang kami, and make sure lang na lagi kayong safe. Nandito lang kami. For our dear partners in the private sector, of course, our fellow government agencies, we're very thankful for the cooperation, the collaboration, and the love for the OFWs. They're not just, I would say, pillars of our economy because of their remittances. They're more than that. They symbolize what Filipinos are right now. Resilient, hardworking, and I think at the end of the day, their love for their country and for their families.
Yes, it really shows, diba? Iba talaga yon. Okay, thank you so much. Of course, OWA Administrator, Attorney PY Cunanan, thank you. Kaunan for
Thank you
that.
so much.
And I really learned a lot. Thank you. Para bang it's looking at something that you're made aware of, but in a very different light.
Maraming salamat.
Yeah,
Thank you
okay.
so much.
It has been an enlightening hour, from legal frameworks to the heart of service, and it's clear that under the leadership of President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr., the welfare of our overseas Filipinos is in very capable legal and compassionate hands. Attorney PY Kaunan, thank you again for being a true game changer. Thank you, and I hope to be able to talk to you again in another program.
Thank you,
Okay?
thank you.
Sa bawat pawis at sakripisyo ng ating mga kababayan sa ibang bansa, may isang pamahalaang handang umalalay. Dahil sa bagong Pilipinas, hindi ka lang bayani sa salita, ikaw ay bida sa bawat programa. Ako po si William Theo. Keep changing the game. Good night, everyone.
Thank you so much.